and welcome to Festival of the Unexplained. Tonight I am going to be talking with one of my personal friends who I've known for quite a long time, and we're going to bring him right on. He doesn't need any introductions really. So this is Mr. Barri Ghai. Wrong side. How's you?
I'm good. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, really good. I can't believe how it's now 5 years ago this week, isn't it, since we worked together on Celebrity Haunted Hotel.
I know, it's gone quick. In fact, something popped up on my timeline recently. It's a picture of us all together, and it just brought back memories. It was really good, really fun times.
I know. We worked so hard that week, though, didn't we? I think doing live television, and I don't think hardly any of us slept. It was more of a case of get up at 6 a.m., have our breakfast, straight on set, and it's just long days, but it was great fun to do, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, live TV is always challenging, and I think it was quite a lot of nerves amongst us all as well, given it was live, and we were being coordinated, weren't we? But it was just fraught with changes every 2 minutes, and who's doing what, and you're going there and you're doing this, and couldn't keep up.
I know, it was good fun, and careers have kind of moved forward though, haven't they? So obviously I'm doing my own thing with the medium side of things, but you've got on and done so much more in the TV world. So how on earth did you get started after the Celebrity Haunted Hotel?
Wow, that's so long ago now. I think I got called up to do the Celebrity Haunted Mansion program. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was another live one at Woodchester. And it was, that was very different. It wasn't as kind of involved. I wasn't as involved with the investigation side of things. But I found it fun. It was nice to meet different people. And all of a sudden, I think whilst that was going on, I got an email out of the blue from Back to Back Productions, and they were just asking about would I be interested in a new program, a new show, and I said, sounds good. Let me know. And then I waited, and and 15 months later, I got this call again, and this time they were saying, right, Zach Bagans wants you on his show, and I said, what? I said, Zach, what are you talking about? And it was revealed to me then that Zach had created Help My House Is Haunted. And this joint production between My Entertainment and Back to Back was going to go ahead. So I said, look, I'm up for it. This is great. And it was a long time then until we got into production, but things took off quite quickly after that. And done season 1, season 2, season 3, and more coming. Yeah.
I know. I just want to take you back to Celebrity Haunted Mansion, because that was at Woodchester Mansion, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and they had so many different celebrities there. Who was your most memorable celebrity?
Oh, wow, now you're asking. Do you know what? I loved Alison Hammond. I thought she was great.
She's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, she made me laugh. She was just, a joy to be around. It was really good. And also Simon from the band Blue. Simon? He was great. And I was a big fan of the band, and it was just nice to be able to chat to him and stuff. And I was kind of starstruck, I was there, meeting some of these people, and I got starstruck, and I was thinking, that's never happened to me before. But it's just nice. It was a really good, I've got fond memories of it, definitely.
Yeah, it's madness as well, because I don't know why this has just popped in my head, but when we did Celebrity Haunted Hotel, I met your lovely wife Lucy when she came out with us for dinner one evening, and it was really strange because that evening I actually said to her that she would be pregnant with the twins.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And it was like, and then she messaged me on my birthday and said, "You're never going to believe this. I'm expecting twins." Yeah. So that was just random. I just remembered that just really quickly, but that's insane, isn't it? How on earth? I mean, obviously, during all the filming, you have 7 daughters.
I know. It's hard, honestly, but I'm as humble as they come. Honestly, I live a very normal life. I'm just Barry, the dad, and I look after my family and do school runs, go to Asda, pick up cleaning stuff, and make dinner and all these normal things that, you know, I think people, honestly, they get the wrong impression. They think, oh, that person's on TV, they must have this extraordinary life. No, I don't have butlers and servants. I don't have a driver picking me up. I drive my own car, right? And having 7 daughters is a challenge. It's just busy, you know. You get to, well, it's non-stop. There's no sleep. You wake up early. You know what
Well,
it's
you're
like.
the only man in the house, aren't you? So there is no other one. So I'm guessing 8 women in the house and you.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a nightmare.
yeah. We've got Arlo the cat. He's a boy, but Mavis is a girl. So yeah.
So you're still outnumbered regardless anyway, aren't you?
100%.
Oh, bless you. But yeah, you talk, I mean, obviously going back to the mansion, you talk about being starstruck and things like that. Is there anybody else who's kind of made you feel a little bit more starstruck than others?
Meeting Jason Halls for the first time, because I was a massive fan of Ghost Hunters, you know, back in the day, Taps. I used to watch every single episode. I was hooked on it, you know, it was my show. And meeting Jason for the first time was amazing, you know, and we had a really good chat off camera, obviously, you know, for hours, talking about equipment, cases, theories, you know, all sorts of things. And I keep in touch with him now. You know, he's a good guy. He works extremely hard, and he's well known and well respected in the field. And I think for me that was the highlight, definitely.
Yeah, and there is so many people out there though who are so down to earth, who are on TV as well. And then, you know, it's kind of like, have you ever come across anybody who's starstruck by you?
Yeah, all the time. But I know it's weird. It weirds me out. I mean, I could be walking in the high street and I get stopped in Superdrug or in Asda or, you know, whatever. and it's nice. I get embarrassed by it. I still do. But, you know, people must be like, oh my God, I've just watched you on telly and you're standing here in front of me. And I'm like, yeah, I've got a bag of frozen vegetables and some cordial in this hand. And, you know, and I just, you know, they get a photograph and it's all good. But I guess that goes with the territory, you know. If you're on screen, yeah. people, you know, they want that.
So tell me how Help My House is Haunted came about, because you mentioned Zach Bagans, you know, wanted you to do that, and you've done 3 seasons now. So how's that going for you?
Well, it's great. I mean, the whole thing was a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest with you, but because the knowledge of being on the show was for so long, I knew that I was going to do this. But 18 months down the line, and we hadn't made a program yet, and they asked me, you know, Barry, do you know a psychic that we can use, American? And I said, you know, to be honest with you, there were a few around, and I listed some off and stuff. And then Chris came along, and it was nice to be able to then talk to Chris and talk to Sandy for season 1, you know, on Zoom calls and Skype and Zoom, whatever. No, it was Skype back then. We didn't use Zoom. Just getting to know them and finding out as much as we can about each other, because we'd never met in person. And literally 3 days before we filmed episode 1, we got together. So it was so important that we built that bond, you know, first. But obviously, Zach was the creator of the show, and he had a heavy input in series 1. So much so that he would be phoning me ridiculous hours of the night because of the time difference in Vegas. You know, either complaining about something or saying well done on something, you know, and it was just about listening to exactly what he had to say, taking a mental note, do not do that again, or do more of this, you know, it's that kind of stuff. And, you know, there were so many different production meetings. It was constant. It was every day I was on a different call, speaking to someone different about what they're expecting or how it's going and what they'd like, and, you know, what our input was. What I liked most, though, was that production listened to me, they listened to Chris, they listened to Sandy, and they took on board everything we had to say in terms of how we wanted to do things and how the organic nature of paranormal investigation should be, you know, embedded within this. And there was always this key with Help My House is Haunted, as you know, there's a key narrative, there's this story that is a golden thread that runs through the program. And often, you know, initially, I think I was apprehensive about that, because I felt you're going to detract away from our normal investigation style. So if something occurs, we want to be able to react and respond to it. We don't want to be driven by a narrative. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, it all seemed to come together. It just felt very, very natural. And the program grew. You know, season 1 was great. Really enjoyed it. And it was an amazing eye opener for me. 12 episodes is a lot. And then we did season 2, and obviously Jane came on board, and it just felt like we were getting stronger and stronger. Season 3, to be honest with you, blew me away. There was some of the stuff that the evidence that we gathered, some of the experiences we had, and also the quality of the production is just gone right up there. And for those that haven't seen series 3 yet, it's going to be out on Monday on Really Channel, because everything's moved over to Discovery Plus. They own pretty much everything. So Discovery Plus, you have to stream everything, download it and stream it. And but Really Channel have got it, and it's coming back, so you get to watch it next Monday.
So how did you, in season 1, I'm just going to take you back, because you worked with Sandy Lagdar and Chris Fleming. How, with obviously the time difference from America and also the time difference from France, and obviously Sandy owns a shop in France, in Paris, doesn't she? That's, you kind of, how did you work your friendship out through Zoom, and how did it all come together?
Yeah, well, back then, Chris was, he was around, the time difference being 5 hours, so we just scheduled calls for around, say, 5 p.m. in GMT, which meant that it was midday over there. But with Sandy, she's an hour ahead, but she didn't have her shop and stuff then. She was working actually in a cafe, and in Paris, and she was living there in Paris before she moved away. And it was fine. We just coordinated, having calls and stuff, and we messaged each other. We had WhatsApp groups and we talked daily. But the key thing is, we're not just talking, about work, talking about everything, talking about stuff that you would with your friends, because we needed to be friendly. We needed to have that bond. So there was chemistry on set, when we're there, it was a matter of, I know you, I feel like I've known you for a long time, and I can trust you because I'm working with you in such a capacity that you need that element of trust, as well as the professionalism, of course.
So what made them change up the female role then in series 2? Because obviously we saw Jane Harris come on board, and she's obviously stayed now for season 2, season 3. What made the producers want to kind of change it up?
Well, Sandy had another offer working on a different program over in France, and it was bigger. It was, she was obviously going to get paid more for it as well. But the issue is that it was going to clash with the filming dates that we had. Now, production tried as best they can to accommodate that and to allow her to do both, but it just wasn't going to work. So unfortunately, a choice had to be made. So, as far as I know, Sandy decided to move to do the other program and commit more time into The Believers, which is the program that she has out there that's made by her own production company. And so really it was a last minute thing there, and we just we found Jane Harris, and it's been great. Honestly, Jane is a fantastic asset to the team.
Oh, I see. I don't know what's happening. Sorry, I've just got technical issues, I think.
Oh, no.
I think something's, I think the link just crashed, but it's okay. It'll come back on shortly, so that's all right. So yeah, our back office systems, our IT technology are back on the board. So yeah, so lost live feed. Sorry, Paul, we're looking into that right now, so I wouldn't worry about that. So we should be back online soon enough, and hopefully, I don't actually know why it's going funny. So I think Karen's behind the scenes trying to work this out as to why, yeah, it's come back online. So I do apologize for us all losing the live feed there on my page. So I do apologize, but we're still here. We're still talking with Barry, and we're going to move on now. So you've done just recently now Celebrity Help My House is Haunted.
That's right, yeah. So season 3 of Help is obviously going to air on Really Channel from Monday, and that's been out on Discovery Plus now for a few months. But whilst that was on, Ian, Jane, myself, we filmed a new series called Celebrity Help My House is Haunted. So you can probably guess, we're going to celebrities' homes that are haunted. They are the clients. They're the people experiencing the paranormal activity, and we're doing exactly the same thing. The program format hasn't changed at all, and we've done 6 episodes for you guys, which is going to be out fairly soon. It'll be on Discovery Plus. We've only got a little bit of tweaking left to do. I think a bit of voiceover. I've got some dates booked and stuff, and it's there. It's ready. You guys are going to get to enjoy that. And honestly, it's cracking. Really, really good.
Can you tell us who you're investigating?
No, I can't. Oh, I don't know. I think we've given a few clues. You might have worked it out anyway. We did some discovery social media clues, and if you've seen it, I don't know if they've been released yet. I know that there's a press release gone out, so within the next few days, I'm sure you guys are going to get to see who's on it and what we're up to, where we've been.
My friend Sarah's saying, tell.
You guys have to wait.
Yeah, I think it would be wise. So talk to me about kit and your favorite pieces of equipment that you use on investigations.
So most people know that I'm a lover of all things ITC. EVP stands for, it's an umbrella term called instrumental transcommunication, and electronic voice phenomena is part of ITC, and I love it. I love capturing disembodied voices on my recorder. So I've got loads of recorders, but I was using the Olympus VP10 recorder and the VP20 for series 1 and 2 and 3, I believe. Yeah, I did. But I've now moved on, and this is because there is there's just better recorders out there, that keep coming around, and these are getting tested with great results. So I'm now using a Philips voice tracer recorder, which is fab. It's really loud. Playback quality is excellent, and thank you, EVP King. And I guess that's my go-to device. But I love everything. I think there's an application and a use for all the bits of kit that we have, and there's the right time and place for it as well. So whether that's the REM pod or the millimeter or your SLS camera. I mean, for me, I just love listening to EVP. That's it. Whether it's coming through a spirit box, a radio, or a voice recorder. You name it, but that's what I love. That's what gets me going. That gives me the buzz.
What's your best capture though on an EVP? Because I know when we did Celebrity Haunted, Hotel, we caught an amazing spirit box session in the Oast House, and I actually remember saying out loud, can you tell us where we are? And it came out straight away and said LB Farm. So what's yours?
Oh, I've had so many. Oh, that's a really hard question, honestly. Do you know what? Okay, there's a couple that stand out to me. One was at the Bates Hall pub in Macclesfield, where I captured a little girl cry. She screamed, and then she said "mum," and it was as clear as crystal. And there were no kids there, and I was on my own upstairs, and it was that loud that if there was someone there, I would have heard them, but I didn't hear anything at the time. Recently, though, through a mobile phone and voice recorder experiment, I caught I caught several amazing Class A EVPs. One of them says, "I shot them," in an accent that is fitting with the narrative and everything. And the other one said the word supernatural, as clear as that. And it's just absolutely cracking. And I'm talking about, words that they're so clear, you'd think that someone just spoke into the recorder. It's that good.
They are good though, aren't they? Especially when you've got those really clear Class A EVPs that you kind of jump out your skin and think, wow, have I just really heard that? What about, we talk about electronic voice phenomena and picking them up on voice recorders and things like that, but do you ever hear anything in your ear, or have you ever heard, being clairaudient and heard spirits talk to you? Yeah,
so obviously clairaudience, meaning that you can hear spirits talking to you. Now, I've never ever said to anybody, "Oh, I'm clairaudient." I'm not. Having said that, I have this unique ability to hear disembodied voices during our sessions. So myself and crew, we're all in the same room, and I'll hear a response audibly, and I'll say, "I've just heard something. Let me play that recording back." And lo and behold, the recorder's picked it up. So direct voice phenomena of form as a DVP. But then some people would argue, actually, Barry, that's clairaudience. You ask listening to the spirit at that frequency, and they are speaking, and you're hearing it, but it's not all the time. So I guess that I think that my ability to hear these responses has grown and improved probably over the last 5 years. Having said that, even when I was a kid, I was hearing voices. I say hearing voices in my head. Yeah, but there were times when I would hear my name being called or whispered and whatever, and all these kinds of things. Now, I think people can train themselves to do that, definitely. But with regards to EVPs, DVPs, I'm in a room. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go on.
Yeah, I'll just say, if I'm calling out into the ether and I'm asking a spirit to communicate, I will hear in the ether a response that is whispered and very quiet. And most of the time, it matches exactly what it is that we've got and captured on the recorder.
Yeah. So Sarah's just obviously asked now, she says, when you hear these voices, how do you feel? I'm so curious and would want to know more. Do you research before you go into a property?
All right, so there's two questions there, really, isn't it? So how do I feel when I hear those voices? To be honest with you, I don't feel anything at the time. I just know, because I'm listening so intently. And I think I've improved my ability to maybe tune in to the vibrational frequencies around me, and I just it has to be quiet. And I normally close my eyes. I get so many comments, Barry, why do you close your eyes all the time? Yeah, I'm tired. That's probably the reason why. But no, I'm closing my eyes because naturally it shuts me off and I'm able to immediately tune in. It's just the way I do it. And when I'm listening to something, that's what I do. And I don't feel anything at the time. I just get it. It just is there. But sometimes, and this has happened a few times, I'll hear this DVP, but I'll also get this image or picture in my head, almost as if what they look like or what they're trying to tell me. So I'm almost reading between the lines of something that might not have been said. I don't often say that because I'm not the psychic, okay? So I'm not going to be saying on TV, that's what's happened. No, that's Chris's job. That's Ian's job. But I like to make sure that it's validated. So I hear that and I'll go, guys, I heard something. All right. And I'll wait to the end of the session. I'll say, I'm going to play this back and see what we've got, play it back. And then I'll go, bang, there you go. It was a response. That's what I heard.
Yeah. And it's amazing, isn't it? Because some of the EVP recorders out there are very expensive. And Kaylee wants to know, what do you think of the DR60 recorder? And is it worth its price tag?
No. No, it's not. Do you know what? Some people swear by it. They use it, they own it, and they get EVP responses on there. But there's not a lot out there that kind of tells you why it's not so good, and you almost have to try it for yourself. But at that price tag, who wants to? However, my friend Steve Higgy Pop has published a brilliant article talking about that particular device, and he's compared it to some of the others in terms of looking at frequency and bit rate, bit depth, and all of the things, the factors that you're looking at with regards to a digital voice recorder. And he's put it there. He's put it out there, and he said it's not worth that kind of price tag. To be honest with you, in my opinion, although I've never used one personally, I think that it's a glitch in that system. Hence the reason why they were recalled and changed and modified. I don't think that they are 100% effective in communicating with the dead. I think that there are far better voice recorders out there that are louder, cheaper, and give you better results.
And which ones would you say they are?
So for me personally, the Olympus VP10 and VP20 models were great. They are brilliant. I caught my best EVPs ever with those. Having said that, they're very tricky to use. They're slim. If you've got big fat fingers, which I don't, luckily, you're going to have trouble, navigating on the menu. But they are brilliant. They're so easy to use. Having said that, I'm now moved on to a new Philips voice tracer recorder, which is clear. The display's big, the buttons are big, and it captures amazing EVPs. And when it plays them back, it's just undeniable. So, you'll see that in the new series. Jane and I both have the same voice recorder, and it's pretty damn amazing.
That's good. What's your take on, being a paranormal investigator? Do you feel like you have to bond with your equipment before you get amazing results?
I always did. Right, and I used to swear by it and say that you build a bond with your own kit, definitely. But I used to literally I'd be wearing my voice recorder. It'd be in my jeans. I'd take it with me. It's like my phone. I'd take my keys, my phone, my wallet, and my voice recorder. And then I moved to this new voice recorder, and all of a sudden I just built an instant bond to it. I just used it once, caught a great EVP, and that was it. I felt connected. And I don't necessarily always believe now that it's to do with the kit. I think it's the person as well. It's so important that when you are carrying out an EVP session, you have a very clear mental focus. You shut yourself off from everything else, and you visualize what it is you want, who you're speaking to, why you're asking that question, and you think it and say it at the same time. And it's I've got an EVP workshop that I'm holding soon, and I'll be teaching people all of these things. These are tricks that I use in order to catch such clear responses.
And it's good. What do you think about these electronic apps as well, which everybody's talking about, like the Necrophonic EVP app?
I love them, and I hated them before, but I love them now. So I never used to use apps. I was totally dead against using app technology, thinking there's no way that a simple software application is going to be able to deliver results and spirits are able to communicate via this. No, it just didn't cross my mind. And I gave it a go. And trust me, Series 3, for those that have seen it, you'll see us using the Necrophonic app, the EchoVox app, and Paratech. And all three of those have been brilliant in their application and use. But it does depend on where you are, what the location is, the spirits that you're communicating with, and how much energy they're able to kind of provide to manipulate those devices. So I use them now, and I'll put my hands up and say that they're going to stay with me as part of my staple kit. Those apps.
It is, and I think the apps have kind of come a long way, though, haven't they? Since they were first introduced, and they first had the sound banks coded into the background. And I think if we've got an intelligent spirit, then they're going to come through, regardless of whether it's an app, whether it's an EVP recorder. We all know that that's going to happen, don't we?
Very true, Joe. But the other thing is that the ones that are word banks aren't necessarily as meaningful when you're working with spirit. Mm-hmm. The phonetic ones, so EchoVox, for example, is fab because it relies on pieces of words, parts of words, the phonetic sounds. And as it's going through that, it's almost impossible suddenly to have a word that makes perfect intelligent sense being put together at speed, especially when you're randomizing the app as well. Using shuffle and auto speed, whatever. It just blows me away when in fact, yesterday I was at a location. I was doing something somewhere, I can't say yet, and I was using an app. I put EchoVox on, and I said, "My name's Barry." I said, "I'd like to communicate with you. Could you please tell me your name?" And I just said that into the ether. Do you know what came through? It wasn't their name. It just went Barry. This was phonetics, but it was, and I just went, "You know my name." I said, "Now tell me your name." And I was waiting, and I got two names actually that came through, but it felt more of a struggle. But I'll be honest with you, and this happens far too often for my liking, it seems that I will get either EVP or response using the Necrophonic or the EchoVox app, and they always say my name, even before I've asked. And it kind of freaks me out a little bit, like, the spirit world know who I am. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? Because people obviously know that you are a paranormal investigator. You run your own events company, and you are a TV personality now for the paranormal. It's kind of, it's madness how they say your name, though, isn't it? Because I've had it, you've had it. An awful lot of people have had their names spoken by spirit, but not many people really listen to it, do they? They just kind of just what's that word I'm looking for? They just don't acknowledge it, so to speak.
Yeah, I always do, and I thank the spirits as well. It's really important that you say thank you very much, and I really appreciate you talking to me, and talk to them like I'm talking to you. You be polite, be professional about it. You'll get better results doing it that way than being aggressive and saying, "I demand you in the name of Jesus Christ, talk to me now." That doesn't work unless you're fighting demons and stuff. But it's it is amazing how clear some of these responses are. In fact, quick anecdote for you. I did a solo investigation for charity at the Ancient Ram Inn a few years back. It was December time. It was really cold. And I walked through the building, turning the lights on with my colleague, Kate Ray. And as we're walking through, we're both recording on our phones, just the walkthrough, right? And we're just chatting amongst ourselves. When I played it back and watched it, I caught EVP after EVP walking through every single room of the Ancient Ram Inn. When I got to the stairs, the bottom of the stairs, I switched the light on, and clear as crystal, it went, Barry. And I didn't hear it at the time. Just when I played it back, it sent shivers down my spine, because I was going to spend the entire night there on my own, and I thought, oh God, help me.
Yeah, the Ancient Ram is just an enigma in itself, though, isn't it? I've caught so much stuff there previously, and I think last investigation that I went on, we were in the barn, and literally I was filming on my mobile phone, and I don't know why, it was pitch black, but then all of a sudden this gust of wind, what looked like a gust of wind, but it wasn't, it was a mist, formed this face and then literally just disintegrated, and I wasn't the only person that saw it. It was really, really something.
That's creepy as hell. Yeah, definitely. It's a great place, though.
I do love that place, though, to be honest with you. But talking about haunted places, where are your top 3 where you love investigating?
Oh my God! In this country, let me think. I can't think. I can name loads. I don't really have an order in my head. I think. The Skirrid Inn was one of my favourites. I really loved that investigation, and I've only been there the once, so I do need to go back. Balgony Castle in Scotland was amazing, beautiful, rich history, and buzzing with different energies. It was great. The Hellfire Caves is one of my favourite locations, and I've been there so many times. Every time I find something new or something different or experience something that kind of goes, I go, wow, that was crazy, and that happens so much. I've been at least maybe 60, 70 times. And there's so many different locations. I can't even think. There's just so many. Sorry, Joe. It's just one of those. I've lost count of the number of places I've been to. And there are so many places that have amazing paranormal activity, and it's all very different, whether it's more poltergeist phenomena or it's just feeling and energy, or whether you have that foreboding sensation where you're going in and you go, I really don't want to be in this place. It's just too deep for me. There's that emotional energy there.
So Lorian's asked, did you ever do Alton Towers?
I've never done it. No, I'm very jealous if you've done it there. That's awesome place. Yeah. No, I've never done it. I've never done a theme park, so maybe I need to do a theme park. It's
really funny because I love Alton Towers anyway, and I just remember once walking past the main house, and I remember looking up, and I saw what was a man stood in one of the windows, but then I realised that there were no floors in there, so how could he have been stood there? Wow. And that was just during the day. That was, it wasn't on an evening, it wasn't on a haunted tour or anything like that. So Alton Towers, I'm guessing, would be an amazing place to investigate.
Definitely. I'd love to go. Yeah. There's still hundreds of places I haven't been to. So, it's just one day I'll get around to doing it.
Have you ever been to America investigating?
Yeah. I haven't done a huge amount of investigation over there. And I would have done a lot more if pandemic hadn't have hit. But yeah, in the West Coast, so, I visited the Queen Mary and some other places. But, the best place I've been to in America was Zach's Haunted Museum. As a haunted place goes, you can't beat that location. From every single moment you're in there, you've got different energies there, things going on. I felt completely out of my depth in that place. And just some of the exhibits there, they scared the living hell out of me. And it was nice to be shown around, and Zach gave us his tour and stuff, and I was blown away. The worst part of that place was the clown room. They used to got haunted clowns everywhere, and I'm like, there's no way I'm spending any more than 20 seconds in here. Yeah, I can see there's clowns. Right, I'm going now.
But it's, America is rich with quite a lot of paranormal activity. I mean, we've got Daniel Class is in the chat room at the moment, and he owns the Hinsdale House, and he's going to be one of your fellow guests at the Festival of the Unexplained Bosworth in 2022. So we're going to hear all about Daniel's house and things like that from him. But if you could, and I'm going to say this because I think I know what your answer is going to be, but if you could investigate anywhere in the US, where would it be?
Another good question. Anywhere in the US. I've always wanted to do Alcatraz.
I knew you was going to say that.
There you go. I've said that before, I'm sure, but Alcatraz definitely, and Waverly Hills Sanatorium. I love the look of the place, and I think that I'd have some fun times there, definitely.
There's some beautiful places though. The Eloise Asylum where I went in Detroit was just unbelievable. I mean, that place, I've never, literally, I screamed in front of probably about 6 people at the time. And when we heard the voice recording back again, the EVPs, even though I heard him scream in my ear, it was kind of like, oh my God. And honestly, that place is just phenomenal. And Todd and Jeff, who, Todd showed me around there. And it was just, honestly, it was mind-blowing. But I've also seen the Merchant's House as well in New York City, and that was beautiful as well.
Yeah,
just
wow.
Really quaint, really lovely little house. I say little, it's not. It's on quite a few floors, but activity in the attic was phenomenal. So there is some beautiful places. What do you think about military ghosts and things like that?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you've got places, famous places, I guess, like Gettysburg and stuff. But do you know what? The military spirits in this country are rife. You've got areas of land where battles are taking place. We're talking back from Romans and Saxons and Normans and, everything up to our modern day, wars. And there's a huge amount of energy there, but most of it is imprinted within the land. And I guess you don't have to be psychic, but you do need to be more sensitive to spirit in order to appreciate that, because you get there and you take it in. It's not just beautiful scenery you're looking at, but you're suddenly feeling these vibrations of all the ages of people and the levels of history that have been there. And I just think it's amazing. Most of that emotional energy, if you imagine from a big battle and a fight, people scared and anxious and tormented and stuff, and they're losing their life, they are scarring that environment. And that energy is never going to leave. It's always going to be there, that residual side of things.
Yeah, and there's always always reports, isn't there, from people saying that they've heard the sound of metal clanging and horses running and people screaming and shouting as though a battle is ongoing. And I know in Bosworth there is a battlefield there, which we're going to be able to have a look at, which is probably one of the oldest battlefields in England, and it dates back to 1436. So I wonder what we will capture there on an EVP when we decide to visit there on the Friday of the festival.
That's going to be incredible.
It is. And, what are you anticipating the festival to be like in Bosworth?
I'm really excited. I mean, I've attended a couple of different conventions before, and what's nice about it is that everybody's just so friendly. They're all excited to be there. And meeting, for myself, meeting other investigators that have worked on different programs or books or whatever, or just people that have knowledge and experience within the field, getting to meet them, chatting, like-minded people, that is key. And everybody's going to have fun. There's going to be smiles on everyone's faces. I'm really looking forward to the investigation side of things. For me, it's another location. It's another place to investigate. And I'm really just dead excited to be there.
It's funny. Karen's just put Barry's most excited about spending the weekend with Karen.
Yeah, that too, I guess, Karen.
But it's going to be amazing as the festival over the weekend. We've got so many different people from all walks of life. So we've got, obviously, we mentioned Daniel Class earlier from the Ghostfinders, which is a paranormal TV show over in the US. He also owns, he owns the Hinsdale House, which is going through a huge restoration project. What are your thoughts on restoring these, haunted buildings ready for the future generations?
Look, it's imperative that we restore buildings, because you just can't have them collapse and become dilapidated where, there's no building left. but you have to restore it with the right intentions, with the love and respect that it deserves, especially if they're listed buildings. Most of these old buildings are going to be grade 1, grade 2 listed, but the renovations is important because it stirs things up. 99% of the time, renovating one of those buildings is just going to make things a little bit more buzzy, and the next person that goes in there, not just the builders, are going to experience a whole range of different activities. So so that'd be interesting, so to see what type of phenomena kicks off once that's been done. If Daniel, if you ever need anyone there to help out after it's been renovated, give me a shout and I'll come and spend a few weekends there. Hey,
it's funny that you mentioned building works and potentially opening up all sorts of a can of worms when it comes to hauntings. I'm actually doing an event tomorrow night in Wrexham, and they've just done an amazing restoration project on the property, and oh my goodness, the property itself is just stunning on the inside, but it was an old family home back in the yesteryear. But it's now, as soon as I walked in, you can feel the energy in there, and you could sense things from, the past that was there, and, the children that lived there. And also they had a governess there as well, which I need to really look at, because when I go back tomorrow, I don't want to be bombarded by the spirits of the house. But like you say, he said the builders were losing tools, and, they couldn't find them. They were constantly feeling like they were being watched. And, one even said that he had somebody was shouting him, and there was nobody else in the building. So that is, what is your take on that?
Oh, I mean, that's all too common, isn't it? Most of the cases that we've done for Help My House is Haunted have that element of things are kicked off because we moved that wall, or we knocked that part of the building down, or we've done this, and it just stirs things up. It's like, you can just imagine, metaphorically there, you've got a spoon in a pot and you're giving it a mix, and then you're mixing it fast and let go, and it's still moving, and that takes time, dissipates, doesn't it? And before it slows back down again. And that's what normally happens in a house like that. The spirits they kind of, you're driving them a little bit crazy, you're moving things around, and some of those spirits are thinking, don't move that door, I use that's how I go to the loo. Well, think about it. The consciously intelligent spirits that are moving around the building are thinking, hang on a minute, what are you playing at? And then you tend to find that they're going to say, well, I'm going to get rid of your power tools. You might be able to finish the job without that, or I'll scare you off. This happens. I love it. I think it's great. And sometimes I ask that question to people when they're saying, oh, my house is haunted, this is going on. I said, have you recently done any renovations, or changed some part of the building or whatever? And they go, well, we have actually, we took out that wall, or we built this. And I think, well, that's probably what stirred things up a little bit. So we now need to bring it back down again, calm things down. And,
so Helen Lawson's just said she's just renovated her 15th century Tudor building, and they will be doing their first investigation in there on Halloween. Any advice?
Helen did say this to me. I'm so jealous I can't be there, Helen, honestly. Any advice? You don't need advice. Helen knows everything, and she's a fantastic wealth of knowledge, and that place is going to be really buzzy. But you know what? I think just be yourself, be considerate, and ask questions to get the clearest, best responses. But if you're going to do EVPs, make sure it's absolutely quiet. You've minimized, the kind of environmental factors that might be present, and leave enough time after each question to get the response you want, and play them back as well, so you can follow things up. We love you too, Helen. But yeah, I mean, if I was there, I'd love to help do that, and I will definitely come and visit you once you're settled, and I can make it. I'll be there.
So speaking about Halloween, this is our busiest time coming upon us already this year. What's your plans for Halloween this year?
Well, what are my plans? Well, I've just finished filming and stuff, so I'm now home and I'm chilling and looking after my babbies and Lucy and stuff. And what have I got? So tomorrow I have a live ghost hunt, so you guys can watch me live, and it's from an undisclosed location, and I'll be going live from 9 p.m. on my Facebook page. So if you haven't grabbed yourself a seat yet, have a look at the event there, click the link, and that's it. Get yourself a ticket and you can watch me. I'll be doing it till midnight, which will be fun. And I have been to this place before, and it is very active. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll disclose everything live.
Fantastic.
And then Halloween itself, well, actually the 30th of October, I'm at the True Crime Museum back in Hastings, which is one of my favourite locations as well, hence the reason why I go back, because I've caught some brilliant EVPs there, including a full name twice of the same person. That's pretty remarkable. And I'm going back there. I've got a public group, so I'm holding an event there. There's like 20 guests or so, and the rest of my Ghostfinder team, and we're going to have a great time. But Halloween itself, I'm spending at home with my kids and Lucy. We'll be doing Halloween parties. It's a big deal in this house. As you can imagine, I've got a witch and 7 witchlings, and they all love it. So
I love it. But, we all talk about Halloween and the lifting of the veil between the two worlds and everything like that. I'm not going to say what is your take on it, because I know what your take on it. The lifting of the veil is always there, isn't it? Well, that's what I believe. I don't believe that Halloween is the day, but it's probably one of the most celebrated, celebration festivals now in our calendar, isn't it, here in the UK? Probably more so than Bonfire Night now.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's commercialized. Halloween is a big marketing ploy for companies to make money, but its roots, being Samhain, are important, and they're important for lots of people, including my wife. And it's a celebration. It's a birth, and it's where you can practice your gifts and give back to the universe and take from the universe and share that with everybody. And I just think it's lovely. I love it. It's a great time of the year. The reason why I love it is because the world suddenly pushes away the whole stereotype and taboo area of the paranormal, and they go, oh, I want something creepy, so I'm going to watch a ghost hunting program, or I'm going to do something like that. Oh, I have a child come in here. Hello. Well, there you go. Go back to bed.
Right on cue as well.
Right on cue, exactly. So yeah, that's really it. It's a big deal in this house.
Yeah, it is great, isn't it? Halloween. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and Samhain, and my mum's a witch as well, so she loves all of that. But obviously I'm not a witch, so I adopt those little things, I think, just not 100%. But just out of interest, you've been around for a long time within the paranormal. You've got your own events team, haven't you? And if people wanted to find you online, where are they going to find you?
So my website, www.barrighai.com, spelled exactly how I spell my name. And I have public paranormal events that I run. When I'm not filming, I've put them on. You can book yourself on there and come and join me, and you'll get to work with me, which is great. And my team as well, the Ghostfinder Paranormal Society. But I've got my social media platforms. So if you don't already follow me, I'm on Facebook. That's at official Barri Ghai. Twitter is at Barri Ghai, and Instagram, I think it's at Barri_Ghai. I've got to remember all these. They're all verified pages. They've got blue tick. It's not a fake one, because you get people creating fake Barri Ghai accounts and stuff, trying to sell tickets and blagging people.
You've made it, don't you, when you get a fake profile?
Yeah, exactly. It's cracking, really. But yeah, you can. That's the best way to get in contact with me. And if you email me, if anyone wants to email me and ask me questions, feel free. My email address and contact details are available on my website, so that's a good way of getting in touch.
Yeah, there's also you do workshops. I know you touched on that earlier on. Just do the EVP workshops. What other workshops have you got to offer people?
Well, during the pandemic, I was holding one a week. Something to do. We were all at home, and I was creating workshops for my some of my members I have, and it was really good. They were covering everything. I've touched subjects on. I did demonology. I did one on haunted hotels. I did one on urban myths and legends. I did one on just general, paranormal studies. EVP obviously is another one. But I've probably covered maybe 30 different workshops. But I'm not, and I've said this to everybody, I'm not an expert on all areas of the paranormal. I don't know everything there is to know. I'm giving my interpretation, my impression of some of these subject areas, of things that I've read, studied, researched, heard about, and I'm putting it all down and I'm giving that to people and informing them as best I can. But I've got an EVP workshop, which is really an introduction to electronic voice phenomena. And thank you, Helen. And that's on the November the 10th, I believe, a weekday, and it's 2 hours long. And if you want to join that, please feel free. Jump on my website and you can book yourself a place on there. I have limited places on there, and it's delivered by Zoom. And I think I've only got about 40 spaces, but half of those are taken already. So please do jump on. And there you go. I've got a few comments here. These are some of my Ghostfinders.
They're lovely comments as well, saying that the workshops are amazing. Is there a cost attached to them?
They're cheap. I mean, the workshops, the EVP workshop as a class, this one's £20. But previously, during the pandemic, everyone was tight for money and it was just the right thing to do. And I charged people £10. In most cases, I sent people free, invites to attend because, personal circumstances are always different. So, it's not about making money. It's about, sharing that information, time and good practice with people. But I have to run a business. I'm self-employed. It's my job. So it's part of how I've got to do things, I'm afraid. It takes a long time to put things together.
And how is that going for you? Because, when we first met, you were working full time and now you're self-employed and it's kind of, everything's kind of taken off.
Listen, I've worked all my life, since I graduated university, being employed by someone else, and I've worked in the education field for so many years. And all of a sudden, Help My House is Haunted took off, and I've been able to leave my day job, say goodbye to all of that, and concentrate completely on everything that I love, which is my world in the paranormal community. So making fantastic TV programs and delivering workshop content and events and all the stuff I enjoy. So that's good.
And that's what you strive for, though, didn't you? Back in 2016 when we worked together, you did actually say to me, there is going to come a time when, I will be doing this full time. And I think you're right to kind of manifest that anyway in itself, because it just goes to show your commitment and your dedication towards the field and where you want to be in the long term. So I'm actually really proud to say that you've managed to do what you said you were going to do. Thank
you. No, I agree with you, Joe. It's all about manifesting. It's about believing what you need and want, and making it happen. And there's no shortcuts. You've got to put the work in, the effort, the time, the dedication. And that means sleepless nights. That means not seeing your family. When I'm filming, I'm away from my kids and Lucy, and that's hard, especially when you're, a super 7-kid daddy like me. It's just a busy thing, it's like it's difficult. But it's a job. And people have to understand that, I'm going to work the same way that a 9-to-5 person, and I have done that for years. Mm-hmm. So I understand that. But for me, it's a different type of work now. So, and it's a great opportunity. But for everybody out there who wants to make their dreams happen, really put it out there to the universe. I believe that massively. And my wife taught me that. She taught me about manifesting, and my office is covered in crystals, and these are all good crystals, all powerful. You've got your citrine and your angelite and your aqua, whatever that is. I can't remember the green one. There's loads of things. Tiger's eyes, there's stuff everywhere. But it's all good. It's all building positivity. That's
what they say, though, don't they? Behind every good man is an even better woman. So Lucy's doing a great job, isn't she?
She is indeed.
Bless her. I haven't spoken to her for a while, so I must catch up with her at some point. But so anything else to come from you within TV apart from Help My House is Haunted, the celebrity edition?
Well, celebrity edition, yeah. I mean, I can't say too much more about that because once things are if they're not signed off completely and all that stuff, then you can't say anything. So you just have to watch this space. There's definitely more to come, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me on TV, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But like I said, there's things in the pipeline, and I just know that the next couple of years is going to be super busy, really exciting, and you lot are going to absolutely love it.
It's good. Helen's just said, did the celebrities scream?
Yes, a couple of them did. There were tears, screams, cries, emotional outbursts, and a bit of a a scary kind of thing as well. I can't say too much.
Yeah, it's funny. Haunted Scout says, totally agree there, Barry. We're amateurs who still work full time, but our hard work is paying off. Makes it more worthwhile when success comes. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, it's like all of us, we all work a full-time job. We do, we do what we love, the events, the readings, whatever you're into within the paranormal field. We all do what we can in order to make it a success, to make yourself succeed in this industry, and hard work does pay off. And also not treading on people as well to get to where you need to be. As we are finding now within the paranormal field, there's, things coming out of the woodwork all over the place. And it's great, isn't it, to find, good people who you trust to work with.
Yeah, very true. The community as such, or this industry, is growing, and it's massive, and there are so many people that have been in it for a long time, and so many people that are trying to make it. To be pragmatic about this, you don't get paid to be a paranormal investigator. Being a Ghostbuster doesn't pay the bills. It is true, and it's a huge amount of luck. I do believe that it's universal destiny as such that I'm in the position I'm in now. But anybody can enjoy what they do and put it out there, and you'll get back what you put into it. So if you want to make a success of things and you want to earn a living from it, then you can do that. But like you said, Joe, don't step on people. Don't do it at the behest of someone else. Good things to good people.
Yeah, exactly. And that is exactly the rule I live by. It's totally, you treat people as you expect to be treated, and, you move forward and you manifest and you reap what you sow. And I think that's true of everything. But we are really excited about seeing you at Bosworth 2022, and Lucy as well. I know she's hopefully coming along with you. So it's going to be fantastic to see you. And for all of you out there who are wanting to spend the weekend with us at the Festival of the Unexplained Bosworth 2022, there are still some tickets up and for grabs, and they're available on our website, which is www.festivaloftheunexplained.com. And tickets are available. We still have a payment plan in situ. So if you want to spread the cost of that just before Christmas, you can do. But we are excited for March. So not only is Barry going to be joining us, but we have Barry Fitzgerald as well talking about the Fae. So if you're interested in the Fae or cryptids or UFOs, we've got the Kinsella twins who are going to be coming along and also talking about UFOs. So that's going to be interesting. So with all of those guests, Barry, who are you most looking forward to listening to?
Oh, all of them. I'm really interested in the Fae and the elemental side of things as well. So that's going to be great. To be honest with you, if I get the opportunity, I'm going to sit in on every single one. It's a learning experience as well. So that's really good. And, I don't know what it is I'm talking about as well. So it's probably going to be to do with EVP and ITC, showcasing a lot of the evidence that I've gathered over the years. So if you're into that, please do come and meet me there and enjoy.
It's going to be good. So I just want to say thank you for joining me. It's been great to catch up. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's madness. I think the last time I did see you, it was, 5 years ago.
God, it was. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. Yeah,
time flies when you're having fun, but you've had so much fun over the last 5 years, and I hope it continues for you as well. And I just wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you in March 2022.
Oh, same. Likewise. Thank you, Joe.
So thank you very much for joining me, Barry. But like I say, everybody, if you want to join us at Bosworth March 2022, please go online and book those tickets. And from me, it's a good night. And from Barry,
good night all. Thank you.